If you've been expecting yourself to heal while starting your days in chaos, overwhelm, pressure, overload, this message is for you. My dear fellow survivor, welcome. I'm so honored you're here with me today because today I answer a question that so many survivors carry quietly. It's a question I carried for a long time. This question is, if I don't expect others to heal without the right conditions, then why do I expect myself to heal when I'm definitely not creating the right conditions to heal? Right? And this step comes, it hits really hard when we start realizing I'm really not creating those conditions. And yet we keep feeling shame, we keep blaming ourselves, we keep, right, spiraling into the negative vortexes. But the thing is, I realized, just like I care for others, right? And I don't expect them to grow if they don't have the right conditions. Same thing with a plant. I don't expect the plant that I care for grow without sun, earth, water, and patience, right? Started realizing that, and I started realizing, well, I don't show myself patience, right? I'm constantly just disappointing myself and feeling ashamed, feeling guilty, feeling anger, feeling everything, right? So there's no patience, there's no care, right? There's no self care. So essentially, I'm not giving myself the water I need. I'm not giving myself the earth I need. I'm not giving myself the sunlight I need, right? In many ways, we are like plants, right? If we don't provide, I'm not talking about perfect conditions here, right? I'm not talking about optimizing to the limit. I'm talking about in the morning, for example, right? I used to wake up, used to chug literally a whole pot of coffee on an empty stomach. Am I creating the optimal conditions for my nervous system and brain to function well? No, I'm layering survival on top of survival, right? And then what do I do? Well, I used to go online, compare myself to others. Oh, they're doing so well. Why am I here? Why is it taking me so long? And then I go and, watch the news maybe. What's going on with the world today? Bullshit. There's always more and more trouble, right? So survivor, layered on top of survivor. And survival, I mean. Survival on top of survival, on top of survival. And then I wonder, well, how come my whole days always get derailed and I can't do what I want to do in order to heal? Because I'm not creating the conditions. I'm starting my day in chaos, confusion, overwhelm, overload. Instead of just saying, hold on, before I reach for the coffee, why don't I just take a couple breaths? One breath even, and then reach for the coffee, right? Before I go online and start wasting time and doom scrolling forever, you know, why don't I just go outside for a 1 minute walk? Go on the patio even if I don't want to go for a walk. Okay, so that started shifting from layering survival on top of survival, and it started shifting a little bit. Okay, well, I'm not layering survival on top of survival. What's going on now is that, well, I'm actually caring for myself. I'm giving myself what I need before I give others what they need, right? Whereas before, with the coffee, with the drugs, with the whatever I started my day with, and then obligation after obligation after obligation, how am I taking care of my needs? How am I creating the conditions that are needed in order to heal? And I'm not saying forcing healing. I'm saying, why am I not creating the conditions to just allow healing to occur organically, like a plant, right? You give a bare minimum, and the plant keeps growing and growing and growing without you even having to tend to it that much. Same thing with us. So it matters how you start your day. That's what I'm saying. So the next healing step, ask yourself, how am I starting my day today, right? And then just audit that and see, wow, am I actually creating the right conditions for healing to occur? Or am I actually layering survival on top of survival on top of survival? And then I have like a million layers of survival and it feels a lot harder to heal, right? First things you do in the morning will carry through the day and through the night So it matters. Choose to take that breath. Choose to listen to that song. Choose to savor your cup of tea instead of having a whole pot of coffee, right? Choose those small choices consistently as much as you can before going and rushing and doing whatever you're used to doing. And see that healing follows, right? Treat yourself like you treat others, right? Somebody that you treat really well, treat yourself like that, right? You have some plants that you care for. Remember, every time you care for yourself, same thing as caring for that plant. So if we care for plants so much, why don't we care for ourselves, right? And then just see healing happen organically without you having to force or push. So my dear fellow survivor, I say this with all my heart. Please take good care of yourself. And of course, may you be filled with music and heal.